Part 6. In their deep forest glade, the afternoon slowed, and their exile felt like a long forgotten dream. Rama and Sita sat close, their shoulders exchanging warmth and secret signs. He teased her about the small bear by the bathing pool that morning, a trembling, fuzzy little creature, more startled than she was, though she'd never admit it. She tried not to smile, but failed, hiding her face in the folds of his tree bark robe, the robes of forest dwellers. He kissed her hair the way a breeze kisses the tall grass, long and slow. A short way off, Lakshmana carved a river stick with a small, sharp knife, forming a flute from the grain, thin shavings falling like fragrant petals at his feet. Now and then he looked up to watch the sunlight playing whimsically in the trees. Above the forest glade, there was a slow turning of wings, old and patient. Jatayu, the divine bird, said nothing, but kept watch. Sita glanced upward, drinking in the blue light of day. Rama's hand found hers, and she felt utterly complete. In the distance, a sharp sound interrupted the forest serenity. Shurbanaka, a Rakshasa, a demoness, had felled a tree in her path, and now the birds became silent as they observed her predatorial gait, one leg stalking in front of the other. Her eyes were small, her cheeks smeared with the blood of raw flesh, and her body was tensed up as if coiled, ready to spring. As she came thrashing through the trees, she saw Rama, and everything else in her world became irrelevant. Rama's long hair was matted like a forest monk, his shoulders powerful like a warrior's. His inner light was divine, and Shurbanaka was entranced. Shurbanaka's body responded, her will set on Rama. She spoke first in a voice of harsh command, though tempered with a little awe. "Who are you, handsome one? Your clothes belong to a monk, yet your arms know the art of war. What brings you here with prayer and bowstring?" Rama's arm drew Sita a little closer. "Lady," he said, smiling as if a strange bird had hopped onto his knee, "I'm honored that you find me pleasing to the eye, but I must tell you that I'm happily married to this lady of the forest that you see here beside me. However, my brother sits just over there, see? He has the beauty of youth, and he's a free man besides," said Rama with a hearty, teasing chuckle. And in more of a loud conspiratorial whisper, perhaps you should speak with him. Shurpanaka turned. Lakshmana, still shaping his forest flute, glanced up with a spark of mischief in his eye. "Princess," he said with a little irony, for the Rakshasa looked anything but a princess, feral and hideous as she was. "Princess, I am only Rama's servant. I am nothing special. A royal lady such as yourself could pick any man she wants. Surely you wouldn't want a poor servant like me," he said with a twinkle. Shurpanaka sensed she was being mocked. She could not grasp the joke, but she knew the brothers were playing some kind of game at her expense. Her fury rose, and only then did she notice Sita sitting there. But the sight of Sita was unbearable, for in Sita there was a stillness, a calm too provocative for an acolyte of chaos such as Shurpanaka.
"So this little mouse is the obstacle," she hissed. "I will enjoy tearing her to shreds. Then you will respect me, though you will not dare to laugh at me."
She rushed forward like a falling axe. Sita cried out and jerked towards Rama for safety. Rama rose in a single fluid motion and placed himself between Sita and Shurpanaka in a warrior's defensive stance. He called to his brother Lakshmana, suddenly aware of the threat. "Brother, we were wrong to play with this fire." In a sudden blur of motion, Shurpanaka released a blade from her right hand, followed almost instantly by another from her left and a third from the claws of her feet. Lakshmana leapt forward and caught the first blade, but the second and third passed him by. Rama snatched the second in his hand, but the third slipped through, until Jatayu swooped down and seized it in his beak. Rama had not been ready for this. Too long a time of peace had passed in the forest, and now fear and fury shook him. The Rakshasa had tried to kill Sita, to kill his love, his life. Lakshmana stepped forward and struck Shurpanaka with the pommel of his carving blade. Her head swam as blood poured from the point of impact, the world suddenly gone bright. She screamed, turned and fled with astonishing speed despite her wounds, hissing curses of revenge as she vanished into the trees. Birds burst out from the forest canopy with cries of fear. Jatayu circled in a protective pattern, staying close to Rama, Sita, and Lakshmana. Sita was shaking but slowly calmed under Rama's protective arm. "You did well not to kill her, brother," said Rama. "Hearts cool in time, but we should be ready all the same. We've known peace for too long." Shurpanaka ran like a thunderclap until she reached her brother, Kara. His stockade rose like black teeth against the green saplings of the forest. Kara sat among his captains, a spiked mace at his elbow. Now Shurpanaka poured out her story like a scorpion's venom, with Rama as the target. She told it as an insult to her pride, a blow to her dignity, and then the wound, a gaping head wound that she claimed had been struck not only on her, but on her brother's honor. Kara listened to his sister with a jaw that hardened at each word, each perceived insult. He shouted for 14 warriors to prepare at once to erase this Rama from the face of the earth. He was lord of the forest, and none would insult him or his sister without paying the price, which was death. Evening began to cloak their forest when a distant rumble came to Rama's ears. Lakshmana had also heard the sound and glanced at Rama, who was already up on his feet. "It seems we have stirred the nest, brother," he said, smiling. "Guard Sita. I will attend to this. It's been a while since I properly exercised my arms." He leapt through the tall grass, bow in hand, and soon disappeared into the folds of fading light. The 14 Rakshasas came on in a fury, leering with iron-tinted teeth and crooked grins. They were ready to crush Rama like a cashew under a hammer. But Rama's bowstring spoke a different story, a mantra flying here, an arrow flying there, part mystic poet, part warrior of death, a concert of destruction. When Rama's last echo died, 14 dead bodies marked the silence at the end of his grand performance. Shurpanaka was waiting eagerly for their return, for her vindication and the restoration of her dignity. But the forest brought only silence, a stillness that fouled her mood. She tore at her hair and clawed at her chest, leaving bloody gashes, her screams rising like boiling vapors.
Kara, you will have no honor left if you leave me shamed. This is a stain upon you.
Her fire ignited his pride, and Kara's hand gripped the mace beside him, knuckles white, eyes burning red. He stood and very quietly, through gritted teeth, said, "I will go myself." Kara moved stealthily through the forest, his great bulk a silent flow of muscle and gristle. A full detachment of his warriors followed at a distance. Rama waited in the clearing, seated in a meditative posture, clearing his mind, purifying his heart. The clash came like a wave striking a great rock. Kara's mace pounded against Rama's divine bow, while Rama's arrows flew into the stream of Rakshasa warriors, even as he desperately held off Kara. The Rakshasa leader pressed forward, his strength vast, his hate a vicious whirlpool, his warriors an unending foam of darkness. Again and again, Kara commanded his men forward, and again Rama's arrows met them, demon for demon. Then Kara shifted his stance and began striking at Rama's feet until the ground was torn open and Rama's footing grew treacherous. The distant light of dawn was sensed rather than seen above the trees. Rama and Kara faced each other across a dark surf of dead bodies. Their breath was heavy, their arms dead, though their battle fury remained pointed. Kara dropped to his knees and Rama staggered forward, ready to decapitate him with his bow. But Kara was feigning defeat. Just then, he lunged at Rama with a sudden burst of strength. His fangs came for Rama's throat, while Rama's eyes were fixed on his mace. But Rama had also played a trick. From concealment, he drew Nandaka, his sacred blade, and shifted from bow hand to blade hand in a sudden yogic contortion. Catching Kara off balance, he drove the mantra-charged blade deep into the Rakshasa's chest, a killing blow. Kara oozed pus from his wound, and a foul stench filled the glade. Rama collapsed with exhaustion, his body spent. He lay beneath the haze and slipped into darkness. Jatayu had been keeping watch over Rama. Now Lakshmana and Sita found him, and Lakshmana carried him back to their glade. Sita wept at the sight of her husband's broken body, yet she also felt joy that he yet lived. Tenderly, Sita wiped the blood from his face and whispered healing prayers. She lay beside Rama, keeping him company while he slept, though many long hours passed, and he did not wake. And so ends the battle of Kara's fall, the event that sets in motion the doom yet to come. For this is only the beginning of the hero's tale, where the path turns dark and the bright dangers of exile give way to a sinister will, an unseen enemy moving behind the veil. You will need all your courage, Rama, all your heart and all your mind, for this is the eternal battle where the great struggles of legend rise from the void. O Rama, evil days lie ahead. Jatayu, the ancient watchful bird, took to the skies and wandered ever farther, until one day in the distance, beyond forest and mountain, beyond desert and ocean and veils of magical concealment, Jatayu's divine eyes spied a dark tower standing like a bitter needle. We move there now to the dark tower of Lanka, where the demon king, overlord of all Rakshasas, stirred upon his throne of black stone. News had come by crow messengers, the deaths of his sister Shurpanaka and his brother Kara. But the demon king Ravana felt no pain, no sadness, only a little glee, for he enjoyed the idea of revenge on the boy Rama. And when he heard of Sita's beauty and poise, his loins stirred, and a sly, almost imperceptible curve touched the corners of his mouth. He tapped his fingers on the charred arms of his throne, calculating, dreaming up horrors for those who had dared provoke his wrath. Suddenly he laughed very loudly, then just as quickly his face grew dark and expressionless. He summoned his generals with a whisper. Dark forms cloaked in armor gathered, their thin eyes like gruel, glistening with anticipation. They bowed deeply and remained there until Ravana cleared his throat. At his signal they stood straight, ready to serve his will. For he gave them what they most desired, power over the weak, power to humiliate, dominate, and instill terror. Ravana rose, his many demon faces glimmering just behind the handsome human mask he liked to display. A theater of horror veiled as beauty. He spread his arms wide in a mock embrace, then clapped his hands together with a crack of lightning, shocking all into rigid silence. "You will go forth," he commanded, "but you will not harm Rama or his brother Lakshmana. You will bring me news. We will not underestimate this human. No, we will study him. We will inflict more pain on this boy than he can bear. But by crushing his bones, that would be a blessing to him. We will crush his hope. We will crush his love. We will crush his spirit. He will turn away from the gods. He will embrace the darkness. He will beg us to kill him, to kill his brother. He will be broken. He will see how small he is, how pathetic he is. He will come to worship us, my brothers. Yes, he will call me Father, as you do, before I kill him in front of his precious Sita." No emotion stirred his face, but his fingers tapped a gleeful rhythm like the memory of a cruel nursery rhyme. A palpable air of excitement filled the hall as the generals received his command. This was their purpose, the source of their life's meaning. They thrilled to obey their king, to be his minions, utterly obedient, yet kings in their own right. with power to visit terror upon their victims and be rewarded for it. Outside, the sea crashed against the exposed cliffs of Lanka, carving demonic faces into the stone, faces that seemed to grin when struck just right by the eerie light. In the far distant forest, Rama woke with a terrible dryness in his throat. The moist forest air had turned barren. A new wind rose from afar, pulling the moisture away, stripping the forest of its breath. This is where the heroes stand, on the threshold, their inner light set against an enemy unlike any they faced before. The story's candle flickers with an unseen wind, obsidian smoke curling upward, filling consciousness with poisonous vapors. Testing our resolve, testing our ability to listen on, to stay with our heroes as they fall one by one or stand together. End.